Well, hello. How is everybody today? I hope everybody's got their cup of tea or coffee, preferably tea, ready to go as we're going to jump into Slay the Spire. Nice to see you here, Sebastian. I hope you had a lovely weekend. I'm not sure about the rest of Europe, but in the UK it is a May Day today. So we basically had a 3-day bank holiday in which I drank copious amounts of tea. So it was jolly decent all round, to be honest. How's the audio levels in the background? The jazz isn't too loud, I hope? Just going for a more sedate stream this evening. Probably until I mess up and die, but the screaming will come later. For now, it's just sit back, relax, and I hope to entertain you for probably the next hour or so. So let's hope that the scene transition works as I pop into the game. Here we go. Slay the Spire. Man, it's just gone black. Marvellous! Oh, because it's just updated. Do you think it could do that before I launch the game, not after? Oh well. Let's just load it back up and we'll be in a second. I need a stream problem screen. You know, problems currently occurring. Don't look behind the curtain. Stream. That's what I need. I need a slide, like in the Wizard of Oz. If I want, lovely to see you, by the way, Danielle. If you want to play an old game, or a forgotten one, The Dwarves is your game. It is one of the best games I played, just want to say it. Dwarves? Is it just The Dwarves? Or is there another bit of the title after it? Because I haven't heard of that game, but I could definitely find out, especially if you'd be interested in watching me play it. And Kirchhoff just listened to Hakuna Matata, because it means no worries for the rest of your days. Indeed, I always preferred Be Prepared, but that's because I could sing it with my voice. Hello, Bomber. How the devil are you? Hope you're sitting comfortably with a cup of tea as I try and get everything working. I had it working, it then crashed, and I've got it working again. So, let's pop in. And this time, it should stay. I believe. Okay, I think I've managed to get it up. Now, the most important thing is, no one say a word. Don't tell it that we can see it. And we should be able to get in. For those of you who don't know what Slay the Spire is a procedurally generated, I suppose, dungeon crawler, roguelike game, which is all based around cards. We're going to just play a standard game, maybe with your help. Probably with your help, because heavens knows I need it. And we're going to try and, hopefully, not die. Now, in Slay the Spire, there are 4 different characters. We have the Clad here. Starts with 80 hit points, 99 gold, and a relic. Relics are a way to increase your power. When you do the runs, the starting one for the Ironclad heals 6 hit points at the end of each combat. We could maybe choose the Silent, who starts with less hit points and a different relic, although I haven't unlocked everything with the Silent yet, so I need to do a couple of runs there. We also have the Defect, who starts with 75 hit points, another different relic, and has a rather different combat style, based on these orbs which he channels, which could be a lot of fun, or end very quickly. And then we have the most recent one, the Watcher, starting with a 72 hit points, because even numbers are just not interesting. And it's a rather interesting reacting to your opponent type play. So Daniel says, Children of the Smith, the Dwarves soundtrack, is a song that you can see on YouTube. I'll have to check it out, Daniel. I'll make a note of it and then see what I can do for next time. But right now, I still have some unlocks to do for the Silent, the Defect, and the Watcher. So we're going to try and make a run with the Silent. So let's embark. Now, when we start, we get a choice. We can either remove a card from our deck, which we can see over here. Now, we're going to be playing... You play Slay the Spire by using these cards. Each turn you have a certain amount of energy, and you can play a certain amount of cards. If you remove cards from your deck, you make it smaller, meaning that you can get your cards more often, or quicker, so it can be useful. I could also add a common relic. As we can see, we start with this uncommon relic as the Silent, which is Ring of the Snake. So we draw 2 additional cards the first time we play. This should be fairly easy, and hopefully means that when we start, at least the turn, we'll have something, or at least a full hand to play. We can lose all our current 99 gold and get 14 hit points. That's interesting, as we can go all the way to 84 hit points, which is very high, actually, for the Silent. Could mean we survive a little bit longer, but we do lose 99 gold. Or we could change the relic we currently have for another random boss relic. So I think we might go safe and just take a common relic here. See what you do and see what playstyle that develops into. Because depending on what relics you have and what cards you unlock, it can change dramatically the playstyle you go for. So, we ended up with a pen nib, which means every 10th attack we play will deal double damage. So to take better advantage of this, we may want to look into getting more attacks. So the more attacks we can pile on, the better. Now let's start. For Slay the Spire, we go through 3 of these levels to try and get to the top. Of those, we can end up against Unknown, which can be just a lot of fun, Merchants to buy things, Treasures where we can gain relics, Rest Spots where we can either upgrade cards to make them stronger, heal, or maybe find relics if we're lucky, and normal enemies for fights, gain cards, and elites that allows us to get relics. Now while choosing the path, we can see the flames behind this elite. Ideally I want to go for as many elites as possible, to gain the relics, to gain the bonuses. However, the flames tell us that he's a slightly more powerful variant, which we would need if we're trying to get to the 4th floor, gain a little bit of bonus score, and complete this Triskelion. Because I haven't unlocked everything for the Silent yet, and I haven't played for a while, I'm probably not going to try and go against these harder elites. So the question is, do I go for this elite or this elite? Now looking at it, this fight path means we could end up with 2 elites. However, the problem is, from this chest all the way to here and then the elite, we won't have any healing at all if stuff goes wrong. It is a very linear path. So we'll go the other way. So we're going to be fighting this elite. The question is, how do we get there? Do we go fight, 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 random, fight elite? Do we try and go fight, fight, merchant, fight, fight, elite? Either way, we're going to be doing a lot of fighting. I think what might be best if we just do these 4 fights, go to this merchant and hopefully there's a healing item or something we can grab, or maybe a healing potion. We may need it. But ideally we want to take these 4 early fights and basically take as little damage as possible. Randoms are a lot of fun, Sebastian. However, for the start, I don't want to end up too low on health. At least right now. But you can bet after we finish the elite, if we have a random, we're going to go for a random. Now, first things first, on this turn, we currently have 3 energy. 3 energy means that we can play, well, 3 energy worth of cards. Each card has a specific cost assigned to it. Right now we have Neutralize here, which deals 3 damage and 1 weak. The effective weak deal means that creatures afflicted with this deal 25% less. So now we're getting into the strategy here. We'll probably use Neutralize here. It's completely free to use, so don't see why we won't use it. On the Acid Slime. This makes him weakened for 1 turn, so instead of taking 10 damage, we'll take 7. Now, if we use Survivor for 1 energy, that means we block this attack. And then we can use another Defend, meaning we now currently have 13 armor. 5 plus 7 is 12, so this turn we won't take any damage. And we have 1 energy left to deal some damage to this small grey slime. Reason for this is next attack we can kill it, and we won't have a problem. I actually misplayed here because he has 5 damage, I could, instead of adding another 5 defense to defend against this, I could have used the second strike. By using the second strike, it would have been dead. It would not have been able to damage me. So I'm already messing up. Either way, let's end turn and let them attack us. Okay, next up, as I said before, we have a second strike. Now we only need to worry about 7 damage. 2 energy left. We're going to just do 2 defense to make sure we avoid taking hit point losses, as we can't afford that quite yet. Now, this at the moment, the enemy is looking to do a strategic debuff. Could be a negative effect. It did the same thing last time with its attack, and it gave us this slime card, which basically gungs up our deck. So we have a harder time getting our own cards. We need to spend 1 energy to get rid of it. I'm probably not going to no, actually. Because it's not attacking, I'm just going to do a double strike and then get rid of the slime here. If I had 3 attacks, I may have just triple attacked, and therefore not worried about the slime, because we wouldn't draw it next turn. However, it can quickly sort of gunk up and be a problem later on. Now we'll do a double attack and do the Survivor card. Survivor card has an awful lot of extra block. However, to use it we do need to get rid of a card. So therefore it's not great if we don't have as many cards in our hand as we need. So did everybody have a good weekend? Because it's a bank holiday weekend here in the UK. Had an absolutely wonderful time. Managed to mate up with a couple of old friends, which is always nice. Okay, it has 10 hit points here, this slime. I think we're just going to kill it, and then end the combat. Carrie saying, are there Murlocs in this game, or am I thinking of Hearthstone? You are most definitely thinking of Hearthstone, which is another game I haven't played in a long time, actually. Welcome, this is Slay the Spire. There's not so many Murlocs, however there is a googly eye mod, which I really should have installed. Veliska had an amazing weekend. I believe you told me you were at the races. Did you win? Also, what type of race was it? The only thing I saw, or race going on this weekend, was the F1 in Portugal, although I don't think you had a hand in that one. But that was definitely interesting, especially the qualifiers when Bottas, I'm not sure if anybody follows F1, but Bottas ended up in pole, where I think everybody had it, or at least expected Hamilton to get his 100th pole. And hello, Cornelia. Oh, look, the gang's all here. Dragon Weight Racing quarter mile. Extremely fast in one direction. Marvellous. How are you today, Cornelia? Now, after we finish the combat, we'll just quickly go through the game and then we can do the enjoyable bit of talking with chat. We can get to choose a card to take. We could take Dodge and Roll, where we gain 4 block, and then 4 block the next turn. So this is like a defensive card, but also adding defense next turn for the same energy. Interesting. We could do Dagger Throw, which not only deals 9 damage, but draws a card, then discards a card, allowing us to get a slight advantage in deciding what cards we want to play, as long as we have the right one. So it's a rather interesting pickup. Also does more damage. At 9, as you can see, it does 3 more damage than our normal attacks. So hopefully if we could replace a normal attack with a strike, or with a dagger throw, it would be good. Or Flying Knee, we deal 8 damage, and next turn we gain an energy. So this is paying forward. Could be interesting. Either one of these cards are perfectly valuable. For now, I want to get through some fights without taking a lot of damage, and the best way to avoid taking damage is to kill the enemy as soon as possible. So we're going to start with a dagger throw. One thing to note, each card can be upgraded. Each upgrade can do different things. If we have a look here, it will just increase the damage. If we go to, say, the dagger throw card, oh, that's just damage as well. However, I believe Neutralize will increase the duration of the week. So different cards are a lot better when you upgrade them. You're okay. You're a little tired, Cornelia, but okay. Well, I hope you can just sit back, relax. I hope you have a cup of tea ready as we try and destroy Slay the Spire. Although it's be a very laid-back, casual version of what would normally happen. Carrie, you got vaccinated on Friday. Was sick of hell on Saturday, but fine now. Oh, that's marvellous. Was it your first or second shot? I had my first shot a month and a half ago. Because I worked in food service, so basically got put on the priority list because we were doing some volunteer food deliveries for the NHS. A bit pointless if we end up getting everybody at the hospital sick, so we got our vaccinations early, at least the first shot. Apart from being felt like I took a bad rugby tackle, like I got punched on the arm, it wasn't really a problem for me. Although I'm having my second shot soon, and that should be... I've heard that's worse. So there is that. Now what's interesting to note is now we've done 9 attacks, our pen nib will double whatever damage we do. So with this dagger throw will do 18 damage, killing an enemy outright. This strike will also deal 12 damage. These enemies have a curl up of 4, so once we hit them, they will gain 4 armor. However, if we deal 12 damage here, it will kill it, so we don't need to worry about the curl up. So it's good news that you've been vaccinated now, Carrie. At least the first, maybe the second shot. Should be rolling out to more and more people. At least in the coming days, as long as we don't end up with a completely new variant that comes out. Now, I could send another attack here. However, this little creature, this louse, has 6 armor. I only have 1 energy, which is 1 attack. Normally, there's no point spending the energy. I might just end the turn. However, because of the pen nib, I'm just going to attack anyway. It's not going to do anything, but I'll gain 1 more charge. There we go, and his ability there was to weaken me. So for the next 2 turns, I'll deal 25% less damage. Not that it matters that much, when I can deal enough to kill him anyway. So from this fight, I gain 20 gold, an explosive potion, which will deal 10 damage to everybody. And then we get to add a card again. So I could start with a backstab, which is a free attack. It's innate, which means I start with it every combat. So this will be my starting hand. It also exhausts, which means once I use it, it gets removed until the end of combat. Rather good, especially paired with the pen nib. It's a free attack. Outmaneuver, it's for energy next turn. Useful if I end up with a big card hand. I don't currently have any draw, so it might be limited. Or Bouncing Flask. So I need to apply 3 poison to a random enemy 3 times. Poison's quite interesting, and just to show it off on stream, I'm going to take it. Now it's rather expensive at 2 energy, but we'll see how this works. Oh, you got the Johnson & Johnson, so you only need 1 shot. You had the chill so bad, couldn't get warm under 3 blankets and a dog. Well, I'm glad you're feeling a bit better now, at least. But it is sort of the placebo effect. Your body is technically fighting off this protein, even if the protein is completely benign. Now your body treats it like anything else. I'm just glad you're fully better now. It's never much fun. So because this enemy, this cultist, has the blue flames above his head, this means he's going to buff himself next turn. So we don't need to worry about a debuff, we don't need to worry about being attacked. It means we can use this Bouncing Flask. This will apply 3 poison to him, the enemy 3 times, so we'll get 9 poison in total. What this will do at the end of the turn, or at the start of his turn, he'll take 9 damage. Then poison reduces by 1. So he's going to take 9 damage, then he's going to take 8, then 7, and so on each turn. So we've really started him on a clock here. Quick dagger throw, just to deal even more damage, and now it's a race. It's even more of a race as well because of the ritual. This is his buff ability. At the end of the turn, he's going to gain 3 strength, which means he's going to do 3 more damage each turn. So not only do I have to defend against 6, next turn it'll be 9, then 12, and so on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to only block once here. I only have 5 armor. So he is going to do 1 hit point of damage, but I will soak that so I can attack him twice. Main reason for that is eventually I won't be able to block his damage, so better take 1 here and deal more damage to him than just takes an awful lot in a couple of turns because he's still around. Job done. Duplication potion on a potion bar. This turn, the next card is played twice. That could be very interesting for doing before the poison card, for example, giving whoever we're fighting 18 poison. And we have Catalyst. This one just doubles the enemy's poison and exhausts. I think we're going for a poison deck, really. What is interesting about the Catalyst is if you upgrade it, it triples the enemy's poison. Quick maths. Although, Carrie, you did say something earlier that I'd like to get back onto. What's your dog? What kind? I'd like details, please. I am more of a dog person, but that's because I'm allergic to cats. However, I recently found out I'm not allergic to Maine Coon cats. They're very large sort of cats that look like similar to Norwegian forest cats, for example, with rather long hair. And I'm not actually allergic to those, so they are currently my favourite breed of cat. As weird as it sounds. A bit arbitrary, but I can hug them, so they're my favourite. Okay, we're going to go for a quick weaken. Survivor for the extra block. We're going to go for another one. Another bit of block there, so we're under attack with 14. This means we'll take 1 damage here, but I think dealing the damage to the enemies is probably worth taking 1 hit point. So that's what we're going to do. Plus this burns the armor, means next turn we're guaranteed to kill this louse. Curse Chef, you like every animal? Well, everybody has a favourite. I'm particularly fond of, say, pandas, quokkas, and a couple of other marsupials. I think pandas, quokkas, maybe then dogs in third. Depends if you count red pandas as... I like to cheat and combine pandas with red pandas, even though they're actually very different animals, but they have the same name. Okay, so we have 5 attacks incoming. I'm going to use 1 strike here, and then I could use a bouncing flask, which would do 9 damage, however then I would take 12. So I'm not sure what the best idea is. I could defend twice. I'd still take 2 damage, but it might be better just wait until he gives me a better turn to attack. Okay, next up we have 7 damage. We're going to block some of that. He also has an effect, but I've got to start doing some damage, otherwise we'll be in trouble. Oh, did you know that, Kushthaf, that blobfishes don't actually look like that? The only reason they look that way is because they've been pulled out of the water. Normally, they're actually, they look quite different. I think David Attenborough's done a presentation on them. There we go, take a little bit more damage, so we're getting down to 63. It would be nice to get a healing potion one of these days. However, we're definitely doing damage. I used the dagger here, hoping to get another attack. As now he's on 12 hit points, I only need 1 more hit to kill him with the strike. Unfortunately... Oh, I could use the duplication potion. However, it's such a useful one with the poison, I may have to keep it around for a bit more. So, what I'm probably going to do, to avoid taking all this damage, because at best... I'd take another 2 and bring me down to... Oh no, 61 hit points isn't too bad. Let's just do a double defend. Well, I'm glad you like the art style of the game. It is rather nice, also simple to look at. But there is a googly-eyed mod, which I really, really should have installed, because it adds googly eyes onto every single character and card in the game. It's completely useless, but it's a must-have mod. Cornelia, Obey, I made tea, and when I went back, my cat was listening to you with a lot of attention, and then you just said you don't like cats. No, I love cats. The problem is I'm allergic to cats, so I don't like them as much as dogs, purely because of that. I'm terribly sorry if I offended your feline friend. Alright, now we can go for Quick Slash, deals 8 damage, draws a card. We can go for Acrobatics, so we can draw 3 cards, or Outmaneuver. Thing is, with Acrobatics, if we upgrade it, we can draw 4 cards. Could give us a lot of flexibility. Pun intended. Outmaneuver is 3 extra energy, which could be very useful getting the Catalyst running. especially if we currently have a smaller hand. And the Quick Slash deals 12 damage when upgraded. I think I'm going to get the outmaneuver, so we can see if we can do a better job. Although, Cornelia, what tea did you just make? Ah, now we have a shop. What can we currently do? Okay, to start off with, we have a poison up here, Noxious Fumes, or a power. Now, this is an interesting one, because a power is something you spend, and then it happens every turn. So this adds poison to every single enemy every turn. I think I have to buy this, regardless of what else we have. Now, there's not really much else going on. We have more dexterity, energy potion, random attacks, or we could remove a card. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove a card. Because we picked up the dagger throw, which is a better attack than normal, I'm going to remove a normal attack. This means the dagger throw will come out sooner, and I can hopefully get better cards. There we go. So we shall proceed to the boss fight. This is going to go well. Now what we have here is a strategic or an artifact on each one of these enemies. This means that it will negate one debuff, which could be our poison. So we're not really going to try and poison it straight away. Or it could negate a weak, which is interesting. I think what I'll start by doing is, probably because we have an awful lot of enemies, throw down this explosion potion. 10 damage to each, that's 30. Lovely jubbly. I hope you enjoy your Cornelia. I hope you enjoy your Cornelia. I hope you enjoy your tea, Cornelia. Took me a second to catch up there. I'm currently drinking a very nice dark caramel black tea. Unfortunately, I'm already running low, which is a terrible, terrible shame. What I'm also going to do is probably just go completely... not just straight for it. I'm going to use the fire potion. I'm going to use a dagger throw. And then I'm going to use another strike. This means I only have 2 enemies to deal with, and I've broken up the attacks. These enemies basically have the same attack pattern that I know of. It's just simply daze me, which adds cards I need to get rid of in my hand, and then attack, and daze and attack. Now that I've done this, it should be easy to deal with them, as I will have a turn to just deal damage, and another turn where I have to defend. And so let's work out this. So next turn we're going to get a couple of dazes in our hands. You're making me want tea. I'm going to put the kettle on. Fringlish is secretly in the pocket of Big T. Oh, how I wish that was true. How I wish that was true, Carrie. I mean, I'm completely open to sponsorship deals. Just please contact me. Good chef. I don't want to make tea because I'd be the only one who drinks it. Oh, I'll slowly convert everyone. I'm sure Valiska drinks tea on occasion. She's known me for long enough. She must drink tea, here and there. Alright, so we currently have 18 damage on our way. Well, that's not great. What can we do to limit that? We can get 10 defense. We'll still take 8 damage. We can't kill someone. I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the duplicating potion. And then basically roll the dice on the bouncing flask. This should give me 18 poison. Well, if it hits this enemy, because the artifact, it'll be 3 less. But let's see where it ends up. Hopefully we get a bit lucky at 12. Okay, that's perfect, I think. Yes, because 12 plus 6 is 18. It has 19, which means it didn't work. Ah. I was hoping. Cornelia going for some green tea. Find it more comparing with black tea. I find it too strong. Well, the black tea can be a bit strong. It depends on what you go for. It also depends on what you're used to. Black tea with a tiny dash of milk is lovely, because it just covers up the acrid taste some people don't like. Of course, this dark tea I have on its own, because it has caramel highlights from being roasted. And it is now finished. Blast. So, what am I going to do here? I think I'm just going to kill it No, I can't, because I don't have the energy. Well, I ballsed that up. I'm going to take 18 damage now. Oh dear. And now I finally get my noxious fumes. Well, I'm going to pop it down anyway, for the reasons. But thankfully we're going to be able to do an outmaneuver here. So we spend 1 energy, but we're going to get 2 energy next turn, so we should be able to kill it. Quick neutralise and bouncing flask, and hopefully the poison now will be at 12. Another strike, and we're safe. Let's end turn. So we gained 31 gold. Because this was a boss fight, we gained an anchor, which means the first turn of each combat will gain 10 block. So we probably won't need to block much on the first turn of fights, which is useful. And then a boss fight gets us a rarer card. Now we can do Masterful Stab. Costs additional 1 energy for each time you lose hit points this combat. It deals 12 damage. Okay, so as long as we don't get hit, this is a free 12 combat. We have a dash where we gain 10 block and deal 10 damage, so it's attack and defense. It does cost 2 energy. However, as we can see, a normal attack is 1 for 6, and a normal defend is 1 for 5. So getting a 1 for 10 and a 1 for 10 in one card is probably better. And then we have Cloak and Dagger, which does give us some free attacks, which could be useful. However, because of all the poison we've got, I'll probably go for the dash, mainly so we can keep alive for our poison to hopefully kill the enemies. And then random as promised. Here we go. So we get an event. As you walk into the room, you hear a gurgling and the grinding of metals. Before you is a slime-like creature that ate too much scrap for its own good. From the centre of the creature you see glints of a strange light. Perhaps something magical. It looks like you can get some treasure if you reach inside its opening. However, the acid and sharp objects may hurt. So we have 25% chance to find a relic here and lose 3 hit points. Shall I try and get the relic, or shall I just leave? I believe I can continue doing this, losing more hit points but getting more chance to get a relic. The problem is I'm already on 43. How low can I go? I definitely don't want to reach the floor because then I'll be knocked out. I'm going to try it once, I think. Well, that didn't work. Ouch. All you find is corroded metal and a bit of burning pain. However, you're still convinced there's a relic in there. So now I can lose 4 hit points, but I have a 35% chance to find a relic. Well, what could possibly go wrong? Well, apparently I'd just take more hit point damage. Lose 5 hit points, so 45% chance to gain a relic? Why not? I'm already low. I missed that again? Shall I lose 6 hit points and 55% chance to find a relic? This is a terrible idea at this point. Sure. Oh dear. Come on. I managed to get the relic. I am now at 10 hit points. Yeah, I'm now at 10 hit points. Okay, so the relic I managed to get was the Molten Egg. Whenever I add an attack now to my card, it will upgrade it. So, it is is that jazz music in the background? Yes, it is. I just picked out a royalty-free playlist on Spotify, just to have in the background to cover odd music. Is it a bit too quiet? Is it too loud? I'm not sure how the balances are. I try and get it okay. Mainly to cover up the fans of my computer. If you prefer a different style of music, let me know and I'll see if I can change it. Okay, I'm currently at 10 hit points, so I'm going to definitely have to go towards the fire. The reason for this is resting, so I can heal 30% of my max hit points. Up to 31. Then we're going to go for a chest, where we gain a relic, which we can choose either a meal ticket, which means we gain 15 hit points when we enter a shop, or the sapphire key. Now I probably won't be going for the Triskelion, so we're going to just grab the meal ticket. It's nice to know if we go into a shop, we will do a heal. And Carrie's saying it's tea, not tequila, you can drink alone without shame. Of course you can drink alone for tea. It's even better alone, actually, because then you don't need to share it. Although if you drink tea with people, it's an excuse to have scones, little cakes, and sandwiches with the fingers cut off. So I suppose there are pros and cons for each. Okay, once again, I'm going to rest up here. Purely because I need the hit points back. Now, back into combat. Okay, so this enemy, the fungi beast, not only is it going to buff himself, but if I kill him, I will gain 2 vulnerable. So it's probably important to kill him after I kill this ooze. He's also looking to debuff me, so I don't need to worry about being under attack this turn. I will use the outmaneuver, so I can gain 2 energy next round, which could be useful. And then I'll just do a double attack on this slime. Take out the slime first, so I don't need to worry about the vulnerable spore cloud. Because the vulnerable ability basically means I take 50% more damage. There we go, Sebastian. Join the tea side. We have fancy mugs. See you back in a bit. Okay, so I'm going to take 9 damage here, unless I protect myself. But because I got the 2 energy added last time, I can basically play everything here. However, I have been weakened, which is a shame, means I only gain 3 block. I'm still going to try and block twice. Main reason is I need to survive. I need to be able to live through this. We'll throw down the noxious fumes, and then I need to decide whether to do a dagger throw or a bouncing flask. The bouncing flask is a bit random, and I already have the poison generation from the noxious fumes. If I just defend for the rest, I will eventually kill them. So what I will do is use the dagger throw to nearly kill the slime. Then I'll discard the bouncing flask. I probably won't play anything else. But this means it will gain 2 poison from the noxious fumes, so it will die next turn. Tim Tams are sold in packs of 11, which is sociopathic because any numbered group of people will need to fight over the last one. Now, there's a very simple reason for that, Carrie. The 11th is for whoever brought the Tim Tams in the first place, which I believe are the American version of penguin bars, which are very nice. Last time I had a penguin, actually, was when I gave blood last time. And when you give blood in the UK, or where I went to, I took your blood, they gave you a cup of tea and a sandwich for it, but then you could also have as many biscuits as you could stuff into your pockets. There was a massive selection, and they had penguins, which I remember from my childhood. I think those are Tim Tams. It's a bit of a shame there. I did like you before this, Patrick. I honestly liked you before, but you can't hate on the tea. It's just not done. Although if you prefer coffee, feel free to have some. It just means more tea for us. Right, so this grey slime is going to die. I don't need to worry about it. This fella is going to... What's he going to do? He's going to buff himself. So I suppose... let's just add some damage. I will use the catalyst here. It's not got a lot of poison. It will only upgrade it to 4, but this fight shouldn't last too long. So I'm not too worried. And then just throw this down to use the energy. And end turn. Yes, Tim Tams are Australian penguins, but they sell them in the USA. Ah, Australian penguins, eh? What is nice is... what happens if you die in the game? If you die in the game, you die in real life, Carrie. We've been over this. No, if you die in game, it's the end of your run. You normally have about 3 levels to go through before you reach the end. You gain some points, some experience. If you die, you just have to restart. If you don't manage to get past, I think, the first boss, then you don't get a bonus the next time. Okay, we're taking quite a bit of damage here. It currently has 13 hit points left. What I'm going to do is just throw down a bouncing flask and a dagger. This means the poison and the dagger should be easily enough to kill it, so I don't need to worry. Okay, so we gain 12 gold, a dexterity potion, which is good because we've run out of potions now, and we get to add a card. More poison. And Velisca likes wombats. Well, they can be found next to the Tim Tams as well, I believe. Although I can't remember if I imagined it, but I'm pretty sure a few years ago, like, penguin make different flavours. I think there's an orange, a vanilla, a dark chocolate, a mint. Like, the dark chocolate mint penguin, I haven't been able to find in the past couple of years, but I distinctly remember having them before, and they were marvellous. Like, absolutely spiffing. Okay, so this event, Wheel of Change. You come across a dapper-looking, cheery gremlin. Well, of course, he's wearing a bow tie. It's time to spin the wheel. Are you ready? Of course you are. Well, let's have a look. Well, I don't like the look of those odds. That looks like we end up dying. Fair enough, let's spin the wheel. Oh, of course. What happens now? You lose. You spot him readying a shiv. You slash at the crazy gremlin, but he's simply too quick. He gets you a few times with a crude shiv. The price has been paid. And with that, both the gremlin and its wheel disappear in a puff of smoke. Well, that was an interesting event. Let's see what we can get now. And the question mark was a fight. Bollocks. Okay, we're going to start with the poison. We're going to throw down and neutralise, so we take less damage. Then I think maybe a double defend. Yes, we have a 6 and a 4. Oh no, we don't need to. Because we have the anchor, we gain 10 block here. So a quick strike would be first, and then we're going to add a poison to the undamaged. Before ending our turn. Okay, we're under attack again. Lovely. Let's see, we can do 12 damage, which isn't enough to actually kill it, because it will only take 2 from the poison. Bouncing Flask could work, but we only have 3 energy. But we can use a Survivor. Let's throw away the Bouncing Flask, because we can't afford it, and a Defend. So we have the 12 block we need, and we can deal more damage to the sort of slightly less poisoned fella. End turn. I think this is probably the most sedate or slowest Slay the Spire run I have ever done. I would counter that, Patrick, by saying that real men drink whatever the hell they want. Because they don't conform to normal sociological norms and feel comfortable in their own skin. Now, what's next? More poison, maybe? More damage? I think more damage. Let's see, you have 7 hit points left, you have 15. Let's just do a dash. You're now dead, and you're now dead from poison. End turn, and we win. Next up for the next card. Now these 2 attacks, so as you can see, we can get them automatically upgraded. This one deals 8 damage. If the enemy has weak, you gain energy and draw a card. So this will be good for neutralize. Finisher, do 8 damage for each attack played this turn. Or expertise, draw cards until you have 6 in your hand. Now this could be interesting because the expertise could work well with our... where is it? Outmaneuver. And I don't think I want more attacks because I want to sort of back up on the poison. You're back and you have berry tea because we don't have black tea bags anymore. Well, interestingly enough, all tea is from the same plant. Be it white tea, green tea, black tea, brown tea, grey tea, berry tea. I mean, apart from rubus tea, which is a specific root, it's not actually quite a tea. Anything that says tea on it is from the same plant. It's just a different preparation or growing method of the leaves. So we're going to take... currently, Gwen, the death count is 0. The tea count is T-1. Because I've run out. But I haven't died yet. I've come close. I went down to 10 hit points, but I haven't died yet. Right, now I have to choose... I'm still not going to go for the Triskelion. Or unlock here. So what I'm going to do is go for the Paper Crane. Enemies with weak would deal 40% less damage rather than 25. I already have some weak here. With the... where is it? The Neutralize. I may want to upgrade that to add some more, or get some more cards that give weak. As this will mean I can defend a lot easier. So it's a nice pickup. And then we'll go to the campfire. Now, after the boss fight, we will heal, so I won't bother getting more hit points. I'll just have to hope that 42 is, of course, the answer to the amount of hit points I need. And instead, I'm going to upgrade something. What I'm going to do is upgrade the Catalyst, which instead of doubling the poison, triples it. For what we need. And yes, Rubus is a tisane. It's not quite a tea. Carrie's saying my white chocolate plum black tea is ready. Oh, Carrie, you know how to make a man envious. Is it a white chocolate plum black tea? Or is it a white chocolate plum black tea? I suppose it's rather sweet. I'm honestly trying to think of the flavourings there, because of course you do have plum teas, or for example bergamot plum flavour, which is of course known as Earl Grey. And you've had white chocolate black tea before. I've had white chocolate tea before, but not white chocolate plum. Okay, now we're up against a boss. Lots of damage here, but this turn he's going to decide to add block. That's quite nice for me, because I'll start with a bouncing flask. The idea here is to add as much poison as possible each turn, till he eventually crocs. Bergamot is an orange, not a plum. I don't know why I thought that. It's because I have a plum and bergamot tea to the side, and for some reason I thought that they were the same thing, and I have no idea why. I am so sorry. It's one of the teas I have on my shelf, and it says bergamot, plum and bergamot. It's a very fruity one. Thank you for pointing that out. I don't know why I said that. That's why I like people here. Because I'm always going to mess up, whether it's talking or playing the game. Gwen is drinking white chocolate peppermint tea today. So everybody's drinking white chocolate tea. Maybe I should convert. Although I'm not sure I have any left, unfortunately. Anyway, end turn. Now that I have a whole bunch of tiny holes punctured in me. Were you taking an allergen test, Gwen? Is that what was going on? Because I know that's what happens. Now, he's going to do 32... what? Okay. He's going to do 32 damage to me. Right. I think I'm going to use this dexterity potion. For this turn only, I'm going to gain 2 extra block per card. Now, I only have 2 cards that gain block, but that's still an extra 4. So, straight away, let's try and get 19 so we take a bit less damage. The goal is to survive until the poison can do its job. Fringle always needs people to keep it in line. I do indeed. And you've gone for acupuncture. Well, I hope it sorted whatever it was meant to sort. I haven't actually been under the needle myself. Okay, so he's going to do a strategic effect. Currently has 11 poison. Now, I could save the catalyst for, say, next turn or the turn after. However, I think getting the poison as high as possible. Because I have the noxious fumes, I'm going to gain 2 poison each turn regardless. So that counters the 1. So the quicker I can get him higher, probably the better it will be for me. So therefore, I'm going to use the catalyst now. It'd be better if I saved it for later, but better a turn or 2 earlier at 30. That should be okay. Next up, I'll use the outmaneuver, so I'll get more energy, and I'll do a strike, because I'm not currently under attack. The ingredients say it's Assam black tea, dried plum, blackberry leaf, and white chocolate. Well, very simple then, and good for you. Assam tea is a very... Actually, hang on. I got some Assam tea recently. It sounds suitably pretentious. Where is it? Here we go. A rich tea blend with a strong and malty flavour. So I suppose that probably works best with the chocolate. Sort of you get the... Because of the fermentation process and the Assam blends, it gives a sort of malty back note, which probably works amazingly well with the chocolate, which I believe is probably the idea there. Because, of course, the malt flavour, if you've ever had Maltesers, that's just chocolate with malt extract or Horlicks powder in the inside. So that's why I suppose they probably went for the Assam tea for the white chocolate. It makes sense. Now, end turn. Where were we? I'm glad on my headset, because there I could just go onto the desk where I have all the teas and just have a quick look. Okay, he's going to do 9 damage to me. That's not much fun. Let's neutralise him. So he deals 5. Oh, I forgot. He's currently sort of balled up, which means he has a sharp hide. Whenever I deal damage, I take 3 damage myself. Not great. But I can throw down and defend, which gives me some extra defense. I'll give him a bit more poison. I have enough energy. Heck, I'll just do a dash. Let's do an expertise. For no reason but to cycle the cards, because I want to get the poison next time, hopefully, and maybe neutralise and draw it again. That'd be nice. Already up to 39 poison, which should work well. And Kushsaf, don't worry about waiting for tea. After all, good things come to those who wait. And Gwen's called ahead to hubby, so he made me lunch and tea. What a thoughtful man. What did he make you? Is it those Lunchables you posted before? I say Lunchables. They're the poshest Lunchables this side of the bloody moon. With Gruyere cheese or some, I don't know, Serrano ham. All on little salted crackers or something. And yes, I am taking the mick out of them, Gwen, because I am jealous. Right, so we have 16 attack currently incoming. I am going to fully heal after this fight. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a bouncing flask, add 9 more poison, do 1 defend, and take the rest on the chin. I now have 17. As long as I don't take 17 damage, I should be fine. And he's about to do 20 to me. Ah. You're having some mini corn dogs, but you do have 2 of the Lunchables. Indeed. What can I do now? Well, let's start by dealing damage and getting some armour. I'll throw in another one, so I have 19. I won't take nearly any damage, and he'll be dead in 2 turns. So we should finish this boss fight spectacularly. Now, there's no point attacking him here, as he has the armour, and he has the thorns. The poison will take care, so I can just end turn, relax, and the poison bypasses armour, allowing me a victory. So we get a lot of gold because it's a boss fight, and we also going to add a card, a good one, apparently. So we can have Corpse Explosion. Apply 6 poison. When an enemy dies, deals damage equal to its max hit points to all enemies. Oh, that's interesting. Not only does it add more poison, but it can be a big burst. Especially if there's a group of enemies. This one again, Die is an upgraded attack. Deals 17 damage to all enemies. Which, well, that's another way to clear the board. Also exhausts, so once I use it, I can get rid of it. The deck is smaller. Or I can gain an intangible. I probably don't want to go for intangible. But as for these two, I'm not sure. I could use the Corpse Explosion with extra energy, but I think purely on the fact that this is upgraded, I'll go for the Die. And now we have to choose a relic. So I can choose either a Fusion Hammer. I gain energy at the start of turns. You can no longer smith at rest sites, so I can no longer upgrade stuff. That'll be annoying because that's one of the things you want to do in stage 2. Smith as much as possible. A Snecko Eye, where I start it confused, which would just make this run completely random. Because if you start each combat confused, that means the cost of each card is randomized. I could end up with a Catalyst, or a Catalyst at 3 energy cost, or a Bouncing Flask at 0. Which I probably won't go for. Or I start with I have 1 more energy, but all enemies start with 1 strength. So I'll probably go for this. Oh, are they discontinued now, Gwen? Oh, that's a shame. I had plans on getting some next time I was in the colonies. You move to a rural area, Carrie, though it's a bit of a drive to Costco. There's a local cheesemaker, though, that sells the cheese ends for cheap. Well, that's interesting, because they're often the best bits for making sauces. I wouldn't necessarily eat them, as they could end up being a bit a bit dry. I mean, for some cheeses, dry and crumbly is okay. But it's not for everything. So we have a second run now. We need to just try and decide out where to go. It would be nice to take 2 boss fights, if possible. Here I can have 2 boss fights, one after the other. Now that's risky as heck. I could even go for a third, if I was feeling adventurous. You know what, sod it, no pain, no gain. And we have 2 question marks. So we're going to go fight, question mark, into boss fight, into another boss fight. This might be the end. This might well be the end of us. And we're immediately under threat by 30 damage. However, I can do the die to deal damage to all enemies. Unfortunately, these guys have the flight, which means they receive 50% less attack damage. Still, we'll start with the first hit. Then we'll probably throw down Neutralize on the first one and a Strike. We've made him land, but we're still under threat from 20. which we can throw down a double defend, so we'll take no damage, and we've at least dazed one of them. Let's end the turn. Only the big ones, the regular little ones, are still made. Oh, I still have something to look forward to then, Lady Gwen. Well, that just means you have to eat 2. If they only make the little ones, you need to eat 2 or 3. You see, I'm sure we can work around a couple of things. Okay, we're currently under attack for a hell of a lot as well. I'm not the biggest fan of this one. We're going to start with a dash, I think, defense and attacking this bird. Try and knock it out of the sky, which I can't actually do. Noxious fumes and a dagger throw. Are we hoping for Fringlish to live or not? What team are we on? Well, Gwen's probably on the team let Fringle die. Mainly because it can be a bit entertaining. Or a bit more entertaining. Okay, they're not currently attacking me. Now, they'll be poisoned, so they will take more damage. But let's knock another one out of the sky with the highest hit points, just to stop its ability. This fellow is doing an unknown ability. That is probably going back up into the sky. So the only thing I have to worry about is this bird, but as he's on the lowest health, should be okay. I'd also, Carrie, I would like to point out I probably took the riskiest path available, with probably the most amount of fighting. So at the end of the day, it is my fault. Oh dear, I'm going to try to do the bouncing flask. I do hope that it hits this enemy here, because that is 15 damage. That is not something I want to see. 1, good. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Now throw down 2 defends, so I will only take 4 damage this turn. Yes, if I was trying to stay alive, I probably would not have taken this route. If we look at the map, I'm going to go 2 fights into a question mark, into a fight, into a question mark, into a boss fight, into a question mark, into a boss fight. So I'm going to do 2 boss fights, 3 combats, and 3 question marks before I even get to a healing site, and I'm already on 49 hit points. Now that I say it out loud, I'm even questioning myself. But it's too late now, I'm committed. Bit of gold, and let's add a card. Do we get Dagger Spray? Deal 6 damage to all enemies twice. Expertise. Well, I already have an expertise. I'm going to get a Dagger Spray, purely in case we run into another lot of those birds, or like a multiple enemy. I need to use Die, 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 and probably Dagger Spray to kill him. Right, we have a single attack target. This makes things slightly easier. He's going to deal 6 damage. I don't need to worry about that because I currently have the 10 from the anchor. So we're going to do Noxious Fumes. Let's throw on 5 poison to start off with. We'll do a Dagger Spray for 12 damage, and then we'll strike. Okay, next up he's going to... Strategic. This enemy intends to inflict a powerful negative effect on you. Okay. Well, it just seems like I need to attack as much as possible still. Also, please tell me if at any time the background music gets too loud or too quiet. Because it's Spotify, it's not always the easiest to balance. Do a quick dash, even more damage. Oh, and that was a pen nib, was it? Well, I'm not complaining. Should be able to kill him in a turn or 2. Okay, next up, he just debuffed me. What did he do? A Hex. Whenever you play a non-attack card, shuffle 1 dazed into your draw pile. Okay, so the idea is I'm going to have to attack as much as possible. If we keep him talking about tea, he might be killed. Possibly, yes, I would end up probably being distracted. But because I can't really use skill cards, I'm going to do a double attack, then a bouncing flask. And that's 16. So I'm going to take the 11 damage here. Not much I can do, but I will kill it next turn. Die, die, die. Ta very much. 19 gold, 12 block, and we're going to add another card. We're going to add another Catalisk, because what's better than doubling the poison? It's doubling the double. Okay, so we have a question mark. As you continue your ascent, thick black smoke begins to billow out of the ground and walls around you, coalescing into 3 masked forms. They start to speak. Another puppet of Meow, I think. Agreed, she always makes the funniest toys. You notice an oversized grin as the third addresses you. Ignore the others. Would you like a taste of our power?
So I can either accept, I'll lose 30, I'll cut my maximum hit points in half, and gain 5 more cards. Now, I need my hit points right now, so I'm going to refuse. But I suppose it's better than a fight. And now we have a Snecko. Okay, he is going to add the Snecko effect. So, if you remember before, the boss fight had the Snecko eye. You're about to see what happens. But I'm going to use a Deadly Poison. Let's use a Dagger Throw, mainly to try and get a better card. Didn't work. But I will use a Catalyst. I need to kill him as soon as possible, so the more poison I can do, the better. And now we're going to get the Snecko Eye effect. You do keep lobbying me to do a T-stream, Gwen, and I keep on ignoring you. Mainly because I won't have that much... I want to be able to show you the T's if I was doing something. And of which I don't actually have a proper camera set up yet. Plus, there are so many T's to try. I need to try them all first. I'm not sure, because if I do a team stream, I'll have to talk about my favourite. And I can't choose one. Be it Earl Grey, be it Assam, be it like a chai, a ginger, be it a white tea, a green tea, some jasmine. Oh, sometimes I can't decide. Right, so we have the completely randomised cost. It's currently doing 9 damage. I'm going to throw down the 0 defend, because it's free, and the 1 defend here. And then I'm still going to use the Catalyst to triple, bringing up to 27 poison damage, and making sure I don't take any damage myself because of the armour. Well, Die is free, so don't mind if I do. Neutralise costs a 1, so we're going to use that, and then I need to decide... oh dear. So it's going to do 14 damage. I could try and do a defend. That will eat everything. That's the only thing I do. Or I could try and do an expertise. It will draw 4 cards. These 4 cards... No, I don't have any defends in here. I was going to say, if it was like 4 defends, I could probably roll the dice and hope to get a few 0 costs. But because I can't, I just need to block 5 and then pray, and I forgot I had a block potion. That would have saved me. Oh dear. Still, with over 30 poison and only 10 hit points left, I don't think it'll be a problem. Well, usually I go back to Earl Grey with lemon. There are 2 go-to teas I have. I normally have a normal black Ceylon tea with a dash of milk, or I have Earl Grey with lemon. It purely depends on whether or not I've got fresh lemon in the fridge. Or it depends on my mood as well. I'd say those are my 2 sort of normal teas. Normal black tea, splash of milk, no sugar, or an Earl Grey with lemon. If I have a sore throat, it might be Earl Grey with lemon and a dash of honey. Dexterity potion, bit of gold, and even more poison. Or do I gain a permanent 2 dexterity? I already have a couple things that add poison. While another deadly poison would be nice. I think I might gain footwork here. It's a power that would make all my defensive cards better. Another question mark. We can give 75 gold to remove a card, which is the same price as a shop, but a shop might be more expensive. So that's what I think I'm going to do. For the simple reason is that I want to probably reduce the normal attacks I have, or the normal defense, so I can get the poisons out quicker. And now we go for the boss fight, and I'm on 29 hit points. Oh joy. Well, let's neutralise you. Can I figure out a way to survive this? You're doing 12, you're doing 10, you're doing 5. Let's throw down this. It's a boss fight. See if I can keep this dexterity potion for later. Maybe? No. Let's take it now. I can use this defense, I'll be okay. Now I'll start trying to kill this chap. Oh, I did manage to kill him. How lovely. You bought a lemon today, we'll use with some salmon for dinner. One of my favourite ways to cook salmon when I'm not pan-searing it. I do like pan-searing salmon because you can get a wonderful flavour, especially if you put it in a lid and steam it just at the end. But one of my favourite ways as well is to get some fresh salmon. A couple of thinly sliced bits of lemon, a drizzle of olive oil, and some tarragon. Then I wrap it up in tin foil and bake it for about... Oh, sorry, I hit my mic there. I bake it for about 40 minutes at 160 degrees. That's centigrade. Or 140 degrees centigrade. Anyway, I should probably play the game. I can do dagger spray. This is what it was designed for. A quick dagger throw. Why are you still alive? Never mind. I'll throw down a footwork, so my dexterity is now 4, which increases my defense more, and I'll kill another little minion. Now, in a boss fight, if I kill the boss, the minions will automatically leave, so why are you doing 30 damage? Oh boy. If I do a dash, and I do a defend, I'm only going to take 7 damage, which is better than I expected, I have to say. Although it's still more damage, I've only got 22 health now. Well, let's throw down a Noxious Fumes, we'll throw down a Poison, an outmaneuver for the future, and just a defend to finish. But let's see if I can hopefully kill this leader before things get too out of hand. Got 15 damage incoming that I cannot block. If I throw down a defend, that's only 9. Let's weaken you, so I'm taking 11. Well, I'll just use everything. I do have enough energy because I did the catalyst last time. So I'll strike you, do this, and that should mean I'll survive without taking any more damage. Your husband will be grilling it, then there's pasta, lemon capers. Beyond that, I'm not sure what happens. It comes out on the plate and it's tasty. Well, it just seems like it's a very simple pasta limone. Whenever you cook pasta, the starch gets released into the water. When you finish cooking it, if you conserve a bit of that pasta water, you can add it back to the pasta, add, say, a bit of lemon juice, a tiny bit of butter, some capers, and it makes a wonderfully simple sauce. In the same way that a traditional Italian cacio e pepe, which is just cheese and pepper sauce, but is absolutely amazing. Use the pasta water to thicken it, and it gives a wonderful creamy consistency. So pasta limone, or lemon pasta, is quite simple. It's similar. Use the pasta water with the starch, some lemon, a few capers, maybe a bit of garlic, and it helps coat everything. Absolutely lovely. You turned your earbuds off, and my mum recommended that Fringlish be a golf commentator or do audiobooks for the Master and Commander series. I'm not familiar with Master and Commander series, although I do like my voice. My parents gave it to me. So anything I can do, it's probably better than working for a living, I have to say. What should I do now? I completely lost track. Oh yes, I'm under attack. Well, I'll throw down a catalyst again. This means the enemy will die. Or at least the leader will die, so I won't need to worry about the minions. But just to be on the safe side, let's strike the enemies, what's that, a fat gremlin, a bit more. Oh, there's also basil involved. Well, basil, lemon, capers, very traditional flavours, especially when it comes to Italian cuisine. Although saying Italian cuisine is a bit of a misnomer, the difference in between, say, Milanese or Venetian or Roman or Neapolitan cuisine are really, really different. Oddly smooth stone, more dexterity. Lovely. If I could get a couple more of these, or a couple more dexterity ones, make the defense a lot easier. So I survived this. Adrenaline is basically free energy, and I draw some cards. I don't see why I won't take that. You would like the Master and Commander series. It's about Napoleonic ship warfare. That could be interesting. I'll have to put on the to-list read, which is longer than my to-watch lead. What did I say? On my lead. List. I'll have to put it on my to-read list, which is longer than my to-watch list. You think he got the recipe off Pinterest. Well, there's a lot of good stuff there, as long as you don't mind spending some time. The best way I found to use Pinterest is wait for a friend to link you something that's currently on Pinterest, because they've done the searching for you, and they've sent you the good stuff. Makes it a lot easier. Okay, the question mark. A long line of hooded figures can be seen entering an unassuming cathedral. Naturally, I join. Okay, question is, do I just do a smash and grab, gain 99 gold, or do I get a ritual dagger? Deal 15 damage. If fatal, permanently increase the card's damage by 3. That's interesting. It's quite a bit of damage for one hit point, but the problem is it can slowly increase. Thing is, I only have 22 hit points, so I'm not going to take the damage. As interesting as it would be, I've got another boss fight before I can even think about healing. So, oh joy, and it's another multiple one. Right, let's throw it on a survivor, because I need to. Next up, I really want to do the noxious fumes, which I think I will do, as this is multiple. I'll throw down and defend, so that's 25. So I'll take 5 damage, and then I suppose dagger spray is probably the best bet here. 5 more damage, so I'm going to end up with, what, 17 hit points? 17 hit points indeed. Footwork could be interesting. More dexterity for the defend, which I think I've got to go for. This is 13, so I'll have 5 hit points left. Oh, bother. He seems to be doing the most damage, this slaver, so I'll work away at this and end turn. And I'll be at 4 hit points. 4. Rats. I don't think I can survive this anymore. Neutralize onto the... You're entangled. I can't even play attacks. The only thing I can do is defend. I am dead. Look at that, I'm dead. Well, this could have gone better. Alright, now what? So there we go, I've been defeated. Obviously didn't go to plan, but then again I took a silly route. Gwen would be happy though. So what happened? I climbed some floors, I gained some experience. I did unlock some things, however. What did I unlock? I unlocked the Art of War. If you do not play any attacks during this turn, gain additional energy. Fair enough. The Courier, merchant restocks cards, relics and potions. All prices are reduced by 20. And Pandora's Box. Which does what? Transform all strike and defend cards. Could be interesting. But there we go. Hooray, I mean, that's so sad. Well, as long as you're feeling Schadenfreude about it. That's all I can say. What is this emoji even supposed to be? Is that an elbow bump? Gary, your guess is as good as mine. I have absolutely no ideas. Maybe rubbing elbows? Is it like a modern handshake? Oh dear. Well, as long as you've had a nice bit of Schadenfreude, I suppose I'm not sad. And that took 1 hour 17 minutes, and I didn't even need to finish. For reference, if I'm normally playing solo, I finish this in about half an hour. So, you all are terrible influencers, and I wouldn't trade you for anything. Question is, should I do another quick one? Or at least try to? Now that I've sort of explained the mechanics, I'll try and go maybe a little bit quicker. See if we can win. So we shall embark with the silent. Hello again. Let's have a chat. Do I want gold? Do I want relic? You know what? I'll change all my gold for a random rare relic. And I got Bird-Faced Urn. Whenever you play a power, gain 2 hit points. Okay. So I'm going to want to gain, use powers mainly in this run for the extra hit point gain. Velisca's saying it's 2 lemmings kissing each other. Okay. Well, I suppose that works. Is that now known as the 2 lemming emoji? Okay, I have no gold, so of course the game starts me off with 2 different merchants. Well, let's go down this way. First of all, neutralize. Quick survivor. Means I'll take no damage, and then a double strike to damage him himself. Okay, next up he's going to probably buff, and of course only get 1 attack. So we get nothing. Now he's doing damage and has some armor, so I can survive. I'll add a defend, I won't take anything. Nothing happens. Again with the more armor. He's not making life easy for me. Carrie's saying it's supposed to be very hot for the next several days, so if I want to make pastry, I should make it now. Well, it is starting to be May. It is closer to the summer, most definitely. Although saying that, I think even in spring and autumn, whenever I was working in a kitchen, the heat often got to over, well, 20, 30, 35 degrees easily. And this wasn't including summer, I'm talking spring. So I vividly remember having to make pastry in the freezer, especially if we made an awful lot of it. We had one we had to make, was it 27 quiches for an event? Each different ones, because it was part of the starter. So I was basically just went into the walk-in freezer and made pastry for an hour. For not only that, but some petit fours, and so on and so forth. Which is actually quite nice, because the rest of the kitchen was about 27 degrees plus. Okay, you have 14 hit points now. Hopefully I should be able to kill you this turn. And I think I will. You've made frosting in the walk-in freezer. Well, anything that sort of melts at room temperature, or at least hand temperature, it's a lot easier to use in the freezer, because you still keep it malleable in your hands. You have a lot more flexibility with it. Gain a ritual. What the heck is a ritual? I gain strength at the end of my turn. Oh, that's interesting. I might want to save that for a boss fight. Let's add a card. Now, I could add a poisoned shiv. I could add flechettes. Or calculated gamble. I'm going to see if I can make the poison work again. There's a decorated menu in the walk-in refrigerator. I don't know why I looked at this. I have no money. That was silly, but let's go for a question mark. Obtain golden idol, trigger trap. What could go wrong? Apparently, a lot could go wrong, actually. So let's just lose 5 max and be done with it. When you lived in Alaska, I had a walk-in fridge known as the front deck. Touche, although I believe that would have been a walk-in freezer. No, would that be a walk-out fridge instead? It wouldn't be a walk-in, it would probably be a walk-out fridge. When Carrie's saying the front deck, she means the porch for Liska, or the front yard, front garden, but it's normally paved over. Because I imagine the average temperature was close to, or at least less than 0. Okay, next little fight. Damage. Okay, so we'll neutralise. We'll do a quick poison stab on... Well, if I do poison stab on you, you're dead. So that works. I'll throw down the survivor. Make sure to take no damage and strike. Job done. Double strike, because you're going to lick me, probably. Yep. And then we finish him off. Bit more gold to get a flex potion, so that's strength for 1 attack turn. And I'm going to go for the World Laid Plans purely because of the power. Or the power urn we're here, with the bird-faced urn. The other two also... The Terror can be extremely useful. 99 vulnerable and exhaust means... Actually, that's really tempting to use, especially against any boss fights. I'm going to go for this. Just using it once and always having the boss or the enemy vulnerable. Probably worth too much. I'm not going to fall for this trap again. I can't afford to lose 50 hit points just trying to get this relic. But let's go for a boss. And of course I get the boss that's invulnerable to poison and other elements. Okay. I am going to stab first and then use the neutralize. The reason being is the first, of course, debuff was used by this artifact. So this way I still reduce its offensive capabilities. And end up with a lot of daisies, unfortunately, in my hand. It's going to be tricky. Throw in a survivor. Let's throw out another defend. Try and take as least damage as possible. And I will use the Terror here. It uses it, gets it out of my way, but it does add the 99 vulnerable, so it should be quicker. Okay, next up, quick double strike. Does more damage, throw it down to the defend, I use everything up there. As we're talking about food, if you want to eat a great vegetarian dish from my country, it's ash reshte. It is heavenly. Am I saying that right? Ash reshte. What is it? Is it a normal like aubergine base, or does it use is it cheese base? Does it use vegetables medley like courgettes and tomatoes, or is it like chickpeas, or what is it, Danielle? Sorry. Carrie has a lot of foods to try to make that very long, but I'll add ash reshte to the list. Reshte. I'm not familiar with ash reshte. Is it herbs, beans, lentils, noodles, and turmeric? Oh, a very rooty, earthy dish then. Sounds actually quite nice. Well, it just looks like I'm double defending here. This is where the daisies can end up being quite a bit of a problem, because I'd have no flexibility. Okay, next up, maybe a strike here. That would kill it finally. We'll use the poison because of reasons, and we'll try and work our way down. Quick neutralise, quick strike, and then a double defend. There's not much to think about here, seeing as I don't have the ability to play any more cards. I can just literally play everything. So begin and end turn. Oh, this is going to hurt an awful lot. Oh, well, I did manage to take someone out, so I suppose there is that as the bonus. But I'm already on half health. Carrie, you're going to try and make Portuguese egg tarts for the first time. Probably above my skill level, but YOLO. Well, Carrie, if I was going to give you advice, the Portuguese custard tarts are absolutely wonderful. The most important thing would be to get good vanilla. If you're making it, definitely get some good vanilla. Before making the custard, you can say infuse the cream and milk that you're going to use with a vanilla pod, which is probably the best way. Although you can get some good vanilla extract. Make sure it's extract, not essence. Because when it cooks out, especially in the custard, the flavour is going to be paramount. Go for the best vanilla you want to use. A little bit can go a long way. And the hardest bit is the custard. For the pastry, you might even want to get short-bought puff pastry. It's nothing to scoff at. It's perfectly reasonable, and chefs do it as well. Chefs nearly never make pastry unless it's for a specific thing, or it's a specific recipe. We always get the pre-rolled, pre-made stuff. It is such a time saver, and the quality is quite similar, as long as you don't go for the cheapest bit. And then the only problem you will have is when you're making the custard, is not to curd or the eggs. That can just be solved with a bit of practice. Just approach it methodically. It's not rocket science, it's just to do with temperature. So take your time, use the best vanilla you can, and use a temperature probe if you have one. Follow the instructions to the letter, and I'm sure you'll do perfectly fine. Now, where was I? Oh yes, fighting. Sort of. Yeah, the jazz is a little bit weird in the background, I suppose, for fighting, but it's good for the rest of the stream, the chatting. You have lemon bars to make before next Sunday. Consider me jealous. Although I really fancy some lemon bars now, some lemon cake. Unlike tea, I can say that that's one of my favourite types of cake, I do know that. Then again, cake is still cake at the end of the day, it's all good. And if you're pretty good at custard already, Carrie, then you have nothing to worry about. I'm sure they'll come out, if not perfectly, then pretty damn good. If you're making the pastry from scratch, the only thing I can recommend if you're making the puff pastry from scratch is make sure to refrigerate the pastry in between folds. So you make the simple pastry, you fold in some butter, then pop it in the fridge. Leave it in the fridge for half an hour, don't rush it. if you have time, spend time. Then you take the pastry out again, fold it over, roll it out again, put it back in the fridge. Again, leave it for half an hour. Just make sure the butter doesn't melt, so it's still hard, still cold, so when you cook it, you get that wonderful puff and golden crunch. Okay, I got a boot, apparently. Next up, unload. Deals damage, outmaneuver. Outmaneuver is always fun for the extra energy. That's what I go for. I like to imagine that your game character is listening to the jazz as he fights, just vibing when he fights for his life. Well, it's something to calm him down. No, I hope it works like that. Okay, so we have a buff. Let's just go for a poison stab. Get the extra energy for next turn. We'll throw a neutralise and another strike. Job done. Already at 30 hit points. Let's see if we can take him down a bit more. Let's do a defend. Another defend. Terror. Actually, we have everything, so the whole lot will go in. Now, as long as I get 3 attacks now, should be able to finish this. Marvellous. Job done. Gwen saying, I only choose to make puff pastry if I have access to a sheeter. Well, you either need that or you need some a nice rolling pin and some big arms. Masterful Stab. What's that? Cost energy. I've already looked at that. The dash. It's expensive. Or the quick slash. I'll go for the quick slash because it's strictly better than a normal attack. It draws another card as well. So if I can get rid of the normal attacks, replace it with that, it'll be even better. Carrie used to listen to Christmas carols during KVK, so he can't judge. Well, even better. After all, why is Christmas music just... Well, actually, I was going to say, why is Christmas music just played at Christmas? But it's not. It's played from October the 31st. Well, November the 1st. Till... Well, till after Christmas, New Year's. Okay, let's go for a neutralise. We'll go for a terror. Throw in a poison slab. We'll do a quick slash and... I forgot to defend, so I'm going to take some damage. I'm not paying attention. I wonder if you can tell. If a recipe calls for unsalted butter, is it actually important, or can you use salted butter? If a recipe calls for unsalted butter, you can use salted butter. It only has a minimal effect. The thing is, you have to make sure not to add any extra salt. So if you check the recipe, you'll probably find that the recipe says unsalted butter, but it also adds a pinch of salt to it. If you're using salted butter, simply don't add the pinch of salt, or add a bit less salt into the mix. It shouldn't really change too much. Not unless you're going for really delicate recipes. Now, where was I? Survivor. I might want to keep the outmaneuver for the extra bonuses. Extra energy next turn. Let's run it that way. I'll just play everything because I did the outmaneuver. And thankfully I killed it before I died. It could have gone an awful lot worse. Okay. I didn't really have anything here. I mean, the extra gold is nice. The acrobatics for draw? I think I will go for the card draw because I have some extra energy. So if I can use the card draw, that would be even better. Also get meat on the bone. If your hit points are below 50%, at the end of combat, heal 12 hit points. That could be interesting. So every time I'm below 30... Was it 32? 33? Now, I'm going to rest up regardless. But if I take a bit of damage, get below 32 in this boss fight, then I'll be in much better shape. Okay, well, let's throw down the terror. I'm going to throw down the outmaneuver and then end turn. Because he has 8 armor, there's no point hitting him here, as I won't be able to break it. But hopefully next turn, and with the outmaneuver, I'll gain an awful lot of damage. And I have at least 3 attacks here. Because this is, well, it's a boss fight, I'm going to drink this, drink the strength potion. So I currently have 7 strength, or 5 strength and 7 extra attack. Meaning each attack I do would deal an awful lot more damage. So ideally, I just want to do as much damage as possible here, with as many strikes. Bring him down to 25 hit points. Now next turn, hopefully I'll get a couple more attacks, and this will be combat over. One of the quickest boss fights I can imagine. And I think we've just done it, actually. Lovely. And that is the power of the potions I saved up. Okay, so power, I get a kunai. Every 3 attacks I gain dexterity. Lovely, that will increase my defense as I attack. And then I probably want to go for die, die, die. Just a board clearer. It was very useful. Okay. Alright. Let's just do a double defend. I don't fancy taking any damage in this fight. Kingdom vs. Kingdom. Oh boy, I regret now that I gave all my Game of Thrones accounts. Well, the point about Game of Thrones, if you're not having fun, there's no point sticking around. You stick around for some people. You can always create a new account, and it's even quicker now to up your level. But I'm sure if you want to play for an event or two, the people who are using your accounts won't begrudge it. But they are some of the more fun ones, especially with the extra options. Huh. This is going to be painful. Ooh, can't really do much. I'm going to do acrobatics purely so I can try and circulate stuff a bit more. Thankfully I got a weaken, so that means I'm going to take a bit less damage. But I'm going to... Oh no, actually this is great. Being knocked down to 32 means I'm going to gain 12. So, oh yes, it was all planned. This was all planned. I worked this out to the exact hit point so I could heal. And if you believe that, you believe anything. Poison potion, nice. I definitely still want to get the more poison in here. Personally, I thought the game was most fun when it was new and sort of janky and everyone's figuring stuff out. Well, people are still figuring stuff out, but unfortunately, it has sort of entered a bit of a stalemate. Now, do I want to heal? I could remove a card, which I think I will. Reason for this is I already have a load more extra attack cards. This one deals 6 damage and 3 poison. I'm going to remove a normal attack, so I can get the poison more often. At least that's the idea. Start adding up those poison attacks. Now, up against slime, and here, when it gets below 50 hit points, or 50%, it will split. So if I'm getting to 35, he'll basically waste a turn. Right, let's do a survivor, get rid of a strike, and then I'll do a defend. Main reason is I don't want to take any damage. Quick poison, then I'll end turn. Next up, a quick neutralize. So you're currently doing 12 damage to me, which isn't fun. I should have done the terror first. I didn't think. Then maybe a die, die, die. So you're at 32 hit points now, which means you're just under the split. Well, that's good. That means I won't take any damage, and I can do an outmaneuver for next turn. Fortunately, I now have 2 enemies with 30 hit points each. I should have seen this one coming. I'll do a quick defend there, and then just everything I can on this fellow, even if I will take 7 more damage. Well, I did do 3 attacks in one turn, so I did get the extra defense. Next up, I'm going to have to run through the acrobatics, hoping to draw another attack, which I did, so I can kill this slime. At least that means I only have 1 enemy to fight, so it shouldn't be too bad. And I did get the double poison, which is lovely. The higher this stat gets, the better it will be for me. Quick neutralize means I take less damage, and if I can do a bit more, it will be within kill range. So I've got this sorted out. Bit more gold, and let's add a card. Escape plan, draw a card. If you draw a skill, gain 3 block. This card's actually free, and it's an automatic draw. Plus, it gives some extra items, so I'm going to grab this, purely to add a bit of flexibility, and it's bonus if I draw a skill. Is my character a skeleton, or is he wearing a skull mask? You know, I'm not too sure. I think he's wearing like a skull mask. We can see some hair around the back here. So it's like the Pokemon that's wearing a skull on its head. I forgot the name. Let's do this for the added poison charge. See if I can upgrade these a bit more, because I'm up against the big slime boss. And yeah, it looks like I'm wearing a skull on my head. You can see the eye underneath the eye of the skull itself, the hair, and then I'm wearing a bed sheet. I mean cloak. Cubone. That's the one, Carrie. I knew there was one. I just couldn't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, Cubone does sound about right. Okay, so he's going to split when I get him under 70. So ideally, I'll get him close to 70 and then do a massive sort of damage round to get it as low as possible. So he's at 91 right now. Let's see what he's going to do. He's going to do 35 damage. Okay, then. Can I get him lower? I need to deal... Oh, he's going to take 5, so I need to deal 10 damage. Okay, so I do have enough. Let's just Terror and do a double strike. We should make cloaks a thing again. Well, it's funny you should say that, Carrie, because honestly, when I was doing some reenactment, and it was raining, cloaks were absolutely marvellous. Like, you would not get wet under them. When you pulled them tight, you just need to have somewhere to hang them properly so they're dry in the evening. But they kept you really dry. Plus, you could be really dramatic and go swoosh everywhere. And whenever if you were sort of talking to someone, you could enunciate your point by just flapping. It was a lot of fun. Now currently under attack. Quick survivor. Get rid of this strike. Let's throw in a poison on you, because reasons. We'll even throw more poison on. And I'll throw down the outmaneuver. I will take some damage, but the hope is I get a good hand next time. Busy day for me tomorrow, so I have to rest. Have a nice night, all of you. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, Cornelia. I'll probably be finishing soon as I die. Doesn't look like it will take too long. I might not even make this boss fight. I haven't been paying attention. So, yeah, this is happening. But thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you had a wonderful time. It was lovely talking with you. Enjoy your tea. And have a good day tomorrow. Alright, I think neutralise that one. Let's try and take care of these small fellas. As I have a feeling these are going to be a pain in the arse. Especially when they split. I was right. They are doing. We're throwing a block, but it's not great. Can I deal enough damage to take him out? I can, thankfully. So I'm only going to take a little bit of damage. Carrie, I like Renaissance fairs as well, but I want to wear a cloak to the bank and the market. Well, I suppose it's just space at a premium, and the fact that cloaks do take up an awful lot of it. Just wondering why they really went out of fashion. It's more material, it's more expensive, but they're not half as dramatic. You can't really be as dramatic in just a jacket. I have absolutely nothing I can do here. I think I'll throw in a defend, then a quick slash and hope for another defend, which I didn't get. Okay. More damage incoming. And I'm dead. There we go. I am slain. You also have a vintage 60s cape you wear places and a pinstrip velveteen. Oh, lovely. Also, if you're ever going out gathering flowers in the woods in a wicker basket, you need to have a cloak. I'm pretty sure that's the law. You can also get pretty dramatic with a long enough coat. True. But then that's just a substitute for cloaks, I believe. So it's a more acceptable one. I do have a long coat as well, which is actually has this wonderful dark green insides. Alright, so now I died again. I think that probably tells you the story. So anyway, that was Slay the Spire. Just ignore what's on screen for now. The stream's not quite over. I'm just going to chat for a tiny bit. We are going to look to wrap up soon. I do hope you enjoyed the stream, or watching Slay the Spire, or just having the chat. It was lovely to have you here. The wind is an issue for cloaks here. That's true. If it's very windy,
You either need the cloak needs to be properly heavy, and then that just weighs down on you, or you need to have a proper like a cloak and a clasp and all that other stuff. Just pick, especially if you're small or light. Like if you can't hold the cloak to you, it can really go flying, and you can end up going with it. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this stream where we talked about tea and cloaks and pasta limone and Tim Tams. And I think cats. I think we covered everything. Cats, dogs, more tea, quokkas and wombats, more tea after that. New vegetarian dish, more tea. Do I speak from experience? Have I been carried by the wind? No, I haven't been carried by the wind. I have seen people being carried by the wind, though. Especially with the cloak. There was well, a couple of my friends are a bit more, let's say, a bit lither than I am. So, when the wind got really heavy, they were trying to hold on to it with their hands, but all that they managed to do was turn their cloak into a sail, which basically pushed them over. I think the only time I've really had problem, it wasn't really a cloak, it was with a cape. Because I was doing a medieval reenactment, and the cape got caught, or my cape got caught on someone's spear. And when I walked forward, I took the spear with me. He followed. It just got wrapped around. I think that was the only problem I had with the cape, but the cape was an awful lot lighter than an actual cloak was. And so on. Well, it depends how much calcium the skeleton drinks carry. Bones are, after all, the densest part of the human body. No, we've been alive for an hour and 46 minutes. So, I think it'll be time to call it for this evening. I do hope you've enjoyed yourself. I've had fun. I'll have to see if I can find... I suppose Slay the Spire doesn't really tend itself that well to Chaz, but it was pleasant listening to it, at least on my end. I hope you've all enjoyed your tea. I hope you had a wonderful time. I'm not 6'7", no. I am over 6 foot, though. I'm pretty sure it's the Scottish blood in my family. It annoys my brother no end to know that I'm over 6 foot. I'm over 6 foot just. I mean, it's 6'2" when I measure it. But my brother is 5'11", and he's awfully annoyed at that. Sorry, 5'11.5". If he ever watches me on YouTube, I'd have to say the half. It's very important to him. Still. On that note, I've been Fringlish, I've played Slay the Spire, but you guys have been absolutely wonderful. So thank you very much for turning up. I hope you enjoyed yourself. If you think of anything you'd want me to do in the future, make sure to join the Discord down below. There's a link to the Discord, and I'd be more than happy to... There was the Dwarves game. I think I have to probably scroll up, figure out the Dwarves, or a game someone mentioned earlier that I definitely have to check out. And I hope you join me for my next stream. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Toodles.